This is day 35 of scaling an AI agency from zero to $100,000 a month. We are currently at 6,000 cash collected, but we got 20K in the pipeline. This is the day-by-day series of me building out my entire business in the trenches so you can see this and hopefully get inspired by it and learn from me along the way. So let's jump right into what we did today. So today was a big day for the boys. We had 3 sales calls lined up today. Okay, so big day. Big day. So to tell you a little bit about the first one, so we had one sales call come in. The first one I had actually very warmed up, consumed all of our middle of funnel content, went through the entire talk track with him. He has a very big network. He's essentially like a franchisee of a giant company. And I guess they're free to go out and kind of figure out their own marketing solutions. So we ended up pitching him 12K for 2 verticals. He had a little disconnect, which is something we just fixed, is he watched the middle of funnel video, and in there I dropped the price, like our starting price of 4K, and then anchored that. So I think he was a little bit confused when I pitched that 12K. So he just wanted a little bit of time to think over the weekend. We have a follow-up call booked with him for Tuesday in the morning. So it's a good sign. I mean, we scheduled a call, on that call, a follow-up so we can check back in with him, get him rocking and rolling. I mean, he's ready to scale. He's ready to go. I mean, very good call all in all, like very confident with the call. Thought it went really well. Best sales call we've had yet. Kind of really like got into the call like 5 minutes early. He was already sitting in the waiting room. So it was just like it was a good prospect all in all. So that call happened, went really good. Really wanted to close him on that call, but I didn't want to like push him too much to scare him away. You know what I mean? You kind of have to have like that. You got to have that know of like, okay, like, am I doing too much or am I not doing too much? I did go through like one objection part, essentially like a talk track, figuring out, okay, what is it exactly you need to think about exactly? And he was just saying like the numbers, because obviously it was a little different than what he expected. So it's just like, it's not sticker shock, but it's almost like it's just unnecessary friction that we unknowingly were doing with our middle of funnel. So we've officially optimized that. That's something we did today, as you can see. We had 2 other calls. One of them was under 50K a month revenue. He ended up wanting to cancel his call, so he reached out and said cancel. And then the other guy that we were supposed to jump on with at 5, which was highly qualified, doing around 250 a month, he ended up also canceling because our SMS messages and automated reminders were too automated. And we were essentially like spamming him, in his words. And I could agree to an extent. We were sending out about 6 SMS reminders when we should really just be sending emails, especially for this type of B2B audience. Like, text should feel more personal. So I can see his disconnect there. He wanted to cancel the call. Totally fine. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you kind of just probably don't want to work with him anyway, but it kind of gives us some insight into, okay, let's optimize this so we don't have this problem again. So it was just a big learning day. He ended up canceling the call, so we didn't have the 2 calls this evening. I mean, based on our cost per call right now, I guess it's okay to see that. But the first call we had was a great call. We're getting a lot of data as we start moving here. No one's no-showed us. No one's ghosted us after they booked in a call. So you can tell this niche is a lot more serious, which is huge. And then we got our middle of funnel optimized after learning that. So we created a new video. We have 4 middle of funnel videos now. I'm going to show you guys our landing page here and show you what this looks like. So that way you can see what our confirmation page looks like. So this is what our confirmation page looks like. So we have the pre-call video, pre-framing the call, what happens on the call. And then we have multiple context calls. You see the cool background I integrated here? I thought this would be really cool with Riverside. I might actually follow this exact type of video for Riverside. We'll see if we end up doing it. But we made one that's specifically kind of framing around like the blue ocean opportunity, just kind of showcasing what exactly the opportunity is. We kind of frame it as like a digital showroom. It's a quick 5-minute video, something they can watch to really feel like, holy fuck, this is a great opportunity. It's kind of just to give them the awareness if they haven't already had it. And then what it's like working with us. This is one that I recorded back a while back, but I added the same background here. I think it looks really cool, kind of like professional, modern. Just gives insight into what to expect from the strategy call all the way up until like the 90-day partnership. So they get a really good insight into what it's like working with us as if we've already closed them as a client. And then we have a third video that answers some questions they might have. I re-recorded this today. This is the video that we ended up having the price drop in. So I restructured that to make sure that we don't have the price drop. And I also made it even better based on all the sales call data that we've had over the 4 calls we've done to pretty much just like add more questions in here that some of the guys were having on the calls that we had to make it just more of a dialed video. It's the longest video we've seen. So we have about 30 minutes of middle funnel content they can consume. It's optional stuff, but it's definitely super helpful. So this is a very good one to kind of just get questions out of the way for them so the call is more effective and productive. Then we have the get to know us. So kind of just more of a personal side of things, where we came from, our story. We're not just an agency that just learned a course and learned how to do marketing. We've actually been in the trenches and ran a real service business. So just very good trust inducing middle funnel content here. And ended up optimizing just kind of the presentation behind it to make it just look more dialed in. So this is our middle funnel. And then we obviously have email touches. So we have more emails than we do text. So we're doing 6 email touches, reminders, and also how to prep for the call, because you can put more information in there. It's a lot easier than trying to communicate through a text. Sure, there's a lower chance that they're going to see it, but with the emails, we kind of talk to them about, hey, make sure you watch these videos to give more context so our call is a lot smoother. Made it pretty simple for them to watch those. Pretty much everyone I've talked to has already watched them, so they've been really warmed up when they get on the call. They feel like they already know us. And it feels like every guy I've talked to, they've been very talkative, except for the first guy I talked to. But he was still pretty talkative guy, honestly. But they're all like pretty warmed up. It's almost like you're hopping on like a warm call. You know what I mean? Because they're able to consume this content for cold traffic. Even just consuming one extra video before the call is super beneficial. But we kind of hit 4 different, nails on the head where it's like, okay, consume the value behind this and why this makes sense to implement now. Consume, okay, what does the process look like with these guys? Are they world class? Consume, okay, can I get some more context behind this? And maybe they can answer some of the questions I might already have. Then, hey, let me get to know who they are as people, right? It's just, it hits every core piece that you need to have to really have warm traffic come onto your call. So our middle funnel is extremely optimized right now. And that's something that I really worked on today to make sure that we don't run into the same issue we did on today's call, specifically with the price drop, because we upped our vertical price by 2K just because of all the work it really takes. And yeah, so we have a call with that guy here at 11 a.m. on Tuesday this upcoming week. And then we also have another guy that we pitched 8K. He's the one where his phone died on the call. I was thinking about today. I was like, dude, like I probably could have made that call like 30 minutes and closed him. You know what I mean? So it's just like, we're just kind of learning, right? And that's the thing about being early in the game, is like you kind of just got to learn as you go, right? Like you're going to lose opportunities early on just because you don't have the knowledge and you just don't have the insight that you need to not make that mistake again. It's almost like you learn, you make the mistake, and you learn, you make the mistake, and you learn. That's pretty much what we've been doing so far. We've been capturing a lot of data from our sales calls, from how these leads are like interacting with us and what language they use, what problems they have. We also optimized, which I can show you as well, the questions that we ask them before they end up booking a call. So obviously we still have our headline. So we optimized some of the questions here. So instead of asking their monthly revenue that they're doing on average, I want to ask, what was your total gross revenue last year? To kind of just gauge where they are at, because monthly revenue doesn't really tell you too much, right? Especially in this type of business. And then we have more specific high ticket verticals they're looking to dominate. So we only had 4 options in here before. Based on all the calls we've had, this is the type of language that they were using when it came to different verticals they were looking for. So this gives it a lot more of a specific option when it comes to verticals. So we can gauge, hey, this client wants all 6 of these verticals. This is a whale, right? And this guy's doing 3 mil a year. You know what I mean? Or it's like, hey, this guy wants 2 verticals and he's only doing, between 250 and 750. He's pre 7 figures. That makes sense. Okay. And then we have the number one thing standing in your way right now. So we have just 3 questions, 3 simple questions. We're keeping it simple, but it's more specific, right? For this question, it's really good to just help us like, okay, what is the pain that you're experiencing? And we took this from the calls that we had with all the sales calls we had, kind of the pains that they saw and like what they're trying to optimize. So first one being, our revenue bounces around too much month to month and the pipeline is inconsistent. We saw this with one of our guys. I'm tired of relying purely on handshakes and referrals to land high ticket projects. So wants more of an autonomous marketing system that works without them having to spend every waking hour on it. And then I'm currently stuck on the tools or doing all the proposals and I have no time to act as a CEO. So, hey, they're time constrained. This could mean a couple things. I need a predictable stream of work so I can hire and manage my next crew. Another thing that we saw. I want to stop being the best kept secret in my area and build dominant local authority. So kind of just really gauging, okay, what is the main thing standing in your way that you haven't solved yet? Like what's the problem you're facing? So this gives us literally everything ammunition wise we need on the call. Pretty simple. It's basically the same amount of fields we had before, but I think they're just more consistent, specific questions and make it a lot more simple. So that's the lander. That's what everything looks like from a high level. Pretty simple there. But yeah, we just made those optimizations today. Hey, the sales calls ended up canceling. That's fine. It's kind of just a feedback loop. Like we understood that, hey, our text SMSs were just blasting too much and it felt spammy and automated, right? So let's fix that. Oh, our middle of funnel is saying a different price than what we're actually pitching. Let's fix that. So just kind of seeing things that we needed to fix and making those changes today. And we also, like I said, I got some backend automations dialed. One thing I was seeing is we've had 2 leads come into our pipeline, but they haven't booked calls. So I'm thinking what happens on Go High Level is people actually like fill out the form and then they go to where they can book a time in. And I think they bounce right there. So trying to implement, I'm going to do that tomorrow. I didn't get to do it today because I'm just trying to understand how that's even happening. But people will fill out the form, still somehow end up in our pipeline without booking a call. I don't really know how that's working. And they're just not getting touched. So we got to have some sort of automated sequence within that. Like, hey, saw you were going to book a call, and kind of just at least touch them to see if we can get them to re-engage. Obviously, they bounced for a reason. Maybe availability wasn't there. Who knows, right? But that's missed opportunities that were missed. That's opportunities we're missing out on, right? So we've gotten 6 leads or 7 leads so far. 2 of them have been people that haven't booked calls. So we're going to see if we can get that optimized tomorrow. Another thing that we haven't done yet, which I think I can finish tonight, we'll see. It's about 9:30 right now, probably not, is rebrand the agency. So right now we're BCGS, Blue Collar Growth Systems. We're looking to switch to kind of like our name, Halverson Bros Systems, just to make it more brandable, presentable, less agency specific, cleaner. It's going to be the acronym HBS. So going to switch that around, make the changes. The color scheme's the same. It's just a different logo. And I feel like it's just more online with who we are as a brand. When we started our landscaping business, we were Halverson Bros Outdoor Services, so it just made more sense. So we're going to get into doing that either tonight or tomorrow, and then obviously recording today's video. So it was a very productive day, to say the least. It would be nice to be able to close somebody up, but we got 20K in the pipeline. We have more calls that are coming in. Actually, our ads kind of slowed down today. We haven't had a call come in. I'm assuming by tomorrow morning, we should see another call come in. So I'm happy that I at least got all these back end systems and also the front end, like top and middle funnel dialed in a little bit. That way we don't see any issues like we did here today. That way everything's really clean and cohesive as we move forward and start booking more calls here going into next week. So that is it today. I don't have any key data sets. I'm assuming based on everything I just discussed, you should be able to take something away from this. Tomorrow's actions. So there's a couple client operational things that I need to get done. Pretty simple stuff. Just some tedious little projects I got to get done for this guy. That way we're aligned as we go into next week. Backend ops. So like I said, I want to make pipeline stages, a stage specifically for people that do not book a call. And then also dial in some automations for that specifically. I haven't gotten into that yet, so that's going to be a focus tomorrow. And I'm also going to schedule some follow-up messages to go out early next week on Monday to the pipeline and everything. So make sure we're good there. And then I want to give Claude Agent some context. I know that was what I was saying I was going to do today, but it was a pretty busy day. So we're going to give it some context that we haven't fed in yet. My brother built out the whole system. It looks really good. I took a look at the folder structure. Really cool. I think it's going to help us quite a lot here as we start moving forward with the agency. And then we're going to finish the client OS. So this has been kind of buggy for me, bro. Everyone's saying that vibe coding shit's easy, but once you actually have to put a backend together, it's like, okay, this shit's not as easy as it looks. Just trying to get into that, seeing how we can actually build a good foundation for it and be able to expand on it over time, but just make it viable enough right now for the client side. And I think that's all we'll really do is like, okay, all that really matters is the client side for right now. And then eventually we can just get into the personal like software side for us. But essentially that's what our Claude agent does. Not too big of a deal for us on the agency side. I just want to make something that's simple for the client so that way they can log in and see their numbers, metrics. I'm going to build that out. That's actually going to be a pretty big priority because most of the stuff above this is pretty easy. So I'm going to actually finish that tomorrow, get some of our upsell options in there, basically get everything they need within a client dashboard. So that way we can start rolling that out for our current client and then also clients we end up signing on here in the future. And then I guess one thing I'll say here before I end this off is I saw a video today. It's like kind of like the School of Hard Knocks where people like interview, like street interview millionaires and stuff. And this guy, Wyatt Roderick, I've seen him before. I've seen his content. He's kind of in the AI agency space. Well, he is in the AI agency space. And he was talking about how he's made $1 million selling AI. And he was saying how he's selling AI to businesses that see an ROI if they get one client, right? They make their money back and then some, right? High ticket service businesses and or, service businesses, right? And I was like, dude, the exact niche that he described in that video, I was like, wow, this is the exact same niche that I'm targeting. He's charging $5,000 to $20,000 for AI agency services. Our highest ticket offer, if somebody wanted 6 verticals, that's 36 grand. That's the highest ticket offer that we can sell, which is crazy. And we wanted to make that even higher of a ticket offer eventually. But as of right now, we are in a great niche that is able to invest that kind of money into something like this. So we're going to be hitting this $100,000 a month goal really soon, guys. I think we can clear this before day 50, before day 60. Like we can clear this before 60 days. And that's me confidently saying, because all it really takes is just like 2-3 whale clients. And we're like basically there. We're basically there. So I could definitely see this series coming close to an end here soon, because we're in the perfect niche. We're in the perfect pocket to be able to see the goals that we want to go, to be able to hit that 100K, right? And obviously I want to eventually be able to hit 6 figures a month consistently, which is, we're definitely going to be in the multi 5-figure range once we get to that point. But it's amazing to see that we're finally kind of in a lane. If you've seen earlier in the series, like, we started going really broad market, got our first client there. Then we went to landscapers, just wasted a fuckload of money. And then we went into AV integrators. And within the first 7 days of launching the funnel, we've already had 4 sales conversations with high quality potential buyers, which is insane, right? So that just tells you how much the market needs this. And that also tells you how much we're actually resonating. I've had a lot of guys come in and literally compliment us like, dude, your process is so dialed in. Like, you guys know what the fuck you're talking about. You have a very simple, cohesive process, right? Your ads caught my attention. This is exactly what I want to do for my business. You guys have a bunch of context, like you're answering questions. Like, so B2B owners respect the fuck out of people that give you middle of funnel content that you can consume, right? Because B2B owners are a lot more serious than B2C prospects, right? And these guys are coming onto the call and they're like, dude, like, I know everything about you already, right? Like, it feels like they know everything about you. It's not like it's a cold conversation, because they've seen me talk as an authority in multiple different touch points, right? Multiple different viewpoints. So the fact that these guys are coming into our funnel and saying, wow, you guys are running a really professional operation here. You must have a lot of business, a lot of clients that you work with. It's just astounding to see. It really is. And that's what really happens when you can actually put yourself and put your brand in a great position, right? And that's exactly what we're doing. So just really good, a lot of clarity here, and then a couple actions to get done tomorrow. But that's pretty much it for today, guys. This is the day 35 video of scaling from $0 to $100,000. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or insights for me, drop them down in the comments down below. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to follow the journey to $100,000. We're getting close. The momentum's building, and we know we're on the right track. Let's have a banger day tomorrow, and we'll see you guys in the next one.